This is Dan Ream of the RCC Library. This video is for SDV 100 classes in the fall of 2020 to show you how to use our RCC library, but also to tell you about changes in the fall of 2020. In case you are a returning student, our library may look a little different to you now than it has in the past. So anyway, this is the RCC homepage that I'm starting out. You can see at the top of my screen the URL, rappahannock.edu. On this page, the content here and the photos change every day or so, maybe even more often than that, but you'll see a blue bar across the top of the home page, and in this blue bar is the magic link right there to the library website. Now you can click right on the word library as I'm doing now, and now you're on the library homepage. Before I show you the rest of the page, let me give you a quick list of notes about the fall 2020 and how the RCC library is different this fall, and hopefully will not be exactly the same in the future as the COVID-19 situation is solved. I hope soon. Anyway, the library is open for visiting by appointment and to pick up books or to pick up a DVD. If you have arranged a laptop pickup through your professors, that's done at the library as well. Here are the library hours where we're open: Mondays and Thursdays from 3 to 7, Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 10 to 2, and Fridays 9 to 12. We continue to offer free home delivery for RCC students and faculty who have no on-campus classes. And that's many more of you now than it has been in the past years. But the idea behind this is that if you're an off-campus student, you deserve access to the same books and videos that are available to the students who come on campus. If you have a class that meets on campus, we will not offer you the service. We hope that you'll be able to stop by the library and pick up things, or again use our book and DVD pickup service, which places the books out at the front door near the welcome desk. Anyway, free home delivery is there if you don't come to Warsaw or Glenn's campuses for your classes. And again, I'll show you on the website where to request that. We do take care of RCC ID cards at the library. It does say online request form. I'm going to change that right now. It's now an email request, and you send the email to library@rappahannock, watch me spell it wrong, .edu. That is where you send your email to request an ID card, and we'll send you back instructions. We need the photo to look a certain way. We need information about what programs you're in. And again, the email you will send back to you. If you send a note to us asking, how do I get an ID card? We will reply. Book and DVD pickup is actually the same thing as well. I'm editing my form here as I go. Isn't this convenient? The online request form is no longer available, and we're going to using, again, emailing the library. So if you are searching and discover the library owns a physical book that sits on our shelves or a physical DVD that sits on our shelves, we will arrange for you to come pick it up. That is if you have classes on campus, or again, we will do home delivery for those as well. We have closed stacks this fall, again due to COVID-19, and what that means is that you don't help yourself to the books. If you do come to the library, and you can do that by making an appointment with the welcome desk during these hours is when the library will have some staff there, and if you do come to the library, we will not let you get the books for yourself. We will retrieve them for you, we'll place them in a bag for you, and check them out to you and put them on a table for you to pick up. So we will help you with the books, but it's again not to help yourself. The idea behind that is that the fewer people who touch the books, we assume the safer they'll be for others to handle. The phone numbers and email address for library help at Glenn's campus, you'll see there, Warsaw campus, and then library@rappahannock.edu actually goes to both campuses, and whoever sees your question first will answer it. So these are the ways to get help. I'm going to leave that on the screen. We may come back to that at the end of the presentation today. Let me jump back to the library website. You'll see here at our library webpage at the very top, the very first thing we have is an announcement about our reduced hours right now. And again, there's the library hours that I mentioned just a minute ago. We also, if you need assistance, you contact Dan Ream, that's me, at dream@rappahannock.edu. I'm the librarian at RCC, and I help people with research problems. If you leave me a voicemail at this number, I actually get an email alerting me that you have a voicemail, and a recording of your voicemail message is attached to the email. So I usually hear pretty quickly if you've left a voicemail message. Email is maybe a little bit faster, but not much. If you have things checked out from our library, I'm recording this video on August 31st, and everything right now is checked out for everyone until September 7th. And so other than that, normally just look inside your library book and we'll have the date written down for when it's due in the back. And we do not charge overdue fines. If something is 4 weeks late, we assume it's never coming back and we will send you a bill to replace it. But again, if you send the item back to us or bring it back to us, we don't charge you for it. We don't want people's money. We simply want to keep our collection. So again, we don't charge overdue fines at all, but we do charge for replacement of lost books or damaged books. For RCC ID cards, there's the guidelines. We need a JPEG or PNG image from the shoulders up, and you see the rest of it there, and then email it to that address. And we will create an ID card for you and then send it to you by U.S. mail to your home address. The other links on here, there's the home delivery link where if you click there, tell us what book or DVD you want from our collection, and we will basically put it in a padded mailer, stick inside the mailer the return shipping label prepaid. So we're paying for shipping both ways, both to your house and back to the college. And then we hand it to the UPS man. And you should have it about 48 hours after we do that. So considering it takes us about a day to get your request and pull it, think of this as about a 3-day service in most cases. 3 days from the time you send your request to when we hope it'll show up on your doorstep at home. Interlibrary loan. This is a big deal service for college library users. This is how our library at RCC can get you books or DVDs or journal articles. That's what people actually ask for the most often that we don't already have. And it's a free service. As I said, home delivery is free as well. We don't charge you for things in the library. Interlibrary loan is free of charge. And what we do is if you need something we don't already have, we go out on a computer network and ask all the other Virginia college libraries who has this and who has it available. Normally it's going to be a large university like VCU or UVA or Virginia Tech or Old Dominion, and they send it to us and we forward it on to you. Again, if you're using home delivery, we send it to your house. If you're a campus student who comes on campus, we'll have it ready for you to pick up at our book and DVD pickup cart up near the front desk of the college. And so those are the things I wanted to make sure you knew about in terms of services. Home delivery, interlibrary loan. And then just below that is finally the search box for how do I find what the library owns. The system we have here is called Primo, and it's what's called a discovery system. What that means, it's like a library catalog, but it also includes more than a catalog, which is why it's called a discovery system. It includes I shouldn't say all of them, but most of our online databases. Online databases are tools that we pay for access to that have entire journal articles, streaming videos that you can watch on your computer, and also ebooks. That is entire books that you can read on your computer screen. Some of them let you download, others you simply let you read it in the web browser. But anyway, Primo searches most of those tools. Now, we have 180 different databases down a little further here where my mouse is waving around. Under these letters from A through Y, all the names of them are listed. The most popular ones are listed right here, and the top 9 or 10 are in this list here, are the ones that are used most often, so we give you a little shortcut for those. You can browse through these if you want to look at the titles of them, but we also have research guides right here under this link. So for example, if you are a student in nursing, I'll scroll down here just a little bit and you'll see there is a resource guide for nursing. And when I click on it, it points you to websites. Here's a tab for library resources. These are our databases. That is searchable tools online that contain journal articles, sometimes ebooks, sometimes streaming videos that you can get because of your RCC membership. And to get to all of these things, you'll see in a few minutes. Actually, you won't see it because I'm using an on-campus computer. When you're off campus and you click on any of these things, you'll get a pop-up screen that asks you for your RCC username and password, and it's the same username and password that you use to get to Canvas or to get to My RCC. So it's pretty much the one and only login that you'll use for RCC online resources. It's possible that you may have a different username and password for other kinds of computers, but again, for RCC, it's pretty much the same one for all of those services. So anyway, I'm back here, ready to search Primo, and what I want to do is give you a search example. I'm going to search the word tattoos. Now it's what? One word, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 letters long, and when I hit search, watch what happens. The next screen that comes up is actually a pop-up tab, and now the results starting to come in. There it is, 134,000. Again, my mouse is waving around the number there. 373 results. And these are listed in what's over here, what's called relevance ranking. That's over on the right side of the screen where I'm highlighting over here. That means that what the Primo system thinks has the most useful content or the most quantity of content for me is this first thing. Relevance ranking is kind of the way Google sorts your results. Google has a more complicated formula than the library Primo system uses, but the idea by relevance ranking is that the prominence of the word you're looking for, if it's in the title, that scores lots of points in the world of relevance. So you'll see all of these have the word tattoos in the title, but also the search engine's looking at the descriptions of these things. And if it sees the word tattoos multiple times, that counts for more points. So you'll see almost all these things that come up here have the word tattoos in the title. But we have altogether 134,000. And as you get further down the list, the word tattoos won't be in the title of all of them, but it will be in the description, or it might be in the table of contents of that particular item. It's not reading the whole book or the whole article, but it's looking at sort of descriptions of each one. Now, how can we have 134,000 things in a library as small as RCC? The right side of our screen, going down a bit under the word availability, sort of explains how that works. On shelf, 10 items. That's out of 134,000. Full text online, 134,362. Now, the beauty of that means that you can get all of these online things no matter what time of day and night it is, 24/7. The only thing you need to have is internet access and an RCC username and password. And you can get all those things right on your computer screen, whether they're videos or books or journal articles. Now, the 10 things on our shelf are going to be physical books or physical DVDs. Those are the things, again, if you're off campus, you would use home delivery for, or you might call us and request that we pull these and leave them at the front door for you to pick up if that's what you prefer. So that's a real basic search. It's not a very good search, actually. 134,000 is probably more than you want. But what I'm going to show you next, which may not seem sensible right away, but I hope it will make sense, is how to find more. Now, I've searched the word tattoos. I just erased the letter S. I'm going to replace it with a star. That star is called a truncation symbol, and what that means is now going to look for every word that starts with T-A-T-T-O-O. So now it's going to look for the word tattoo without an S, plus the word tattoo with an S, and the word tattooed with ED on it, and tattooing with ING on it. All the words that start with these 6 letters. It's going to look for all of them. So when I hit search now, my 134,000 result is going to get larger. And here it is, 175,000. I found 40,000 more things because some of them have the word tattoo or tattooed or tattooing instead of, here's one, the tattooist of Auschwitz. So we're finding more this way. And this is one of the most common, here's tattooing with an ING. This is one of the most common problems in searching, is to guess which word is right. Truncation is a tool that can really help figure out which words work. And then once you have a search that covers everything on your topic, you can start to narrow it down. So maybe you're interested in tattoo and children. So I can put in the word child with a star, and that gets child or children. And means I want both topics in everything I'm looking for. So this is how you get a smaller, more exact result, is using the word and. It's telling the computer, give me both these things. Everything must have the word tattoo, or a longer version, and the word child or children. Now I have only, it's still a lot, 666,000 items. And again, I can keep getting more and more exact if I want to. Let's say I wanted to add something about, I'm interested in the psychology of tattoos in children. So I type in psychology with a star, and that looks for psychology or psychological. And now my search result, which should come in just a second. I'm waiting for it. I wonder if I remember to hit the search button. Maybe I forgot to do that. Here it comes. And now we have only 13,000 results. Still quite a bit, but the idea here is notice that every time I add and another topic to my basic topic, it gets more and more exact and I get more useful results. Now these 13,000 we have left were in the original batch. These aren't new things. We're basically just throwing things out of our search by being more exact with every step. Now if we go over to the right here, we'll see 3 of those things that cover all 3 topics are on the shelf. The other 13,000 are online. Now to get any one of these things actually on your screen, the title is typically where you'll click. This causes a pop-up. You'll see I've got a big pop-up screen here coming up in front of what I had before. If I scroll down in here, that'll typically give me somewhere around the middle of the page a link to the actual item. Now I'm clicking on that. If I were at home, doing this, I would now be getting the RCC login screen asking me for my username and password. But since I'm sitting on campus as I'm making this tape recording for you, or this video recording, now it's putting me right through, because it recognizes from where I'm sitting that I belong to the RCC club, and though I don't have to prove myself by giving a username and password. And this one is apparently just a short article, and there's the full text of it there. I can click here to get a PDF of it. I like to do that so I can actually download a copy, save it on my computer, and that way if I need to look at it again more than just the first time I've read it, I'll have it there and don't have to go hunting for it a second time. So I'm going to close that pop-up window. One other thing I want to show you is that next to each of our listings is a little symbol here. It looks like quotation marks, but if you mouse over it, the word citation appears. And if you click on that, and then scroll down just a bit, there's the citation in the MLA version, which is what you use in English classes at RCC. If you're taking nursing or psychology classes, they use the APA style manual, and that's how you would cite it to follow their rules. And last of all, if you're taking history classes at RCC, they use the Chicago Turabian style. And again, what you can do is grab this, right-click, copy it, paste it into your notes, and you've got your citation done correctly every time. I really love that. It's a time saver. Sometimes this little thing here where the second line goes in further, that's called a hanging indent. Sometimes this tool fails to do that, so you want to keep an eye on that. If it's more than one line long, in this case its hanging indent is working as well. The first line sticks out further to the left. This last one fits all in one line, so that you don't even see that. But anyway, the citation tool is built right in there, and that's really neat. I'm going to close that pop-up. That is Primo. That's our basic search system. And again, to find things that are actually on the shelf, if I click on over here on the right, if you're looking for things that are in our library, if it's in the library, it'll say available if it's not checked out, and tell you which library it's at, and then the call number. Now again, normally you would help yourself to it. You go to the Glenn's library and pull it from the shelf under the PS call 3565 call number. Nowadays, because we're having closed stacks, you simply tell the staff, I want this book. If you have the call number already, that's great. We'll take that from you and we'll go get the book, or we'll look it up ourselves. So here's another one. This is from the Glenn's library also. It's in the new book section. And again, the call number for it's going to be if I click here to see all copies. So there's three things in this case. Third one is at the Warsaw Library circulating. There's the call number for it. So that's our Primo system. I'm going to close the pop-up window that occurred there and go back to the library page. The next thing I want to show you quickly is the EBSCO databases. This is our second biggest collection of places to look for any topic. When you search EBSCO, what it does, first of all, you click on the link, and if you're on campus as I am, it takes you right to it. Your first step is to either read through all these choices of what part of EBSCO do you want to search in, and each of these is a different topic or a different kind of source. What I recommend is do this. Check the box that says select all of them, then continue. And then you can type your search in here. And again, the searches that you may have worked out in Primo will also work here. In other words, this tool also recognizes what that little asterisk or star means, that truncation symbol. And so in fact, if you think of it at the time, you can copy and paste your search and then move over to EBSCOhost, paste it in here, hit the search button. And what you'll get here is mostly new stuff. Occasionally you'll get the same article, one of the same articles that you already had from Primo, but it's worthwhile to look both places because there's enough different content in each. So the first thing that comes up here is actually an article here that's available in PDF, full text, and several other formats, and apparently offers downloads as well. Some of them, again, you have to read on screen. Others will offer you downloads. When it says link it, that means that EBSCO doesn't have this article, but if I click here, this goes out and tries to find it. Link it is a hunting tool, and it's going to give me on this screen that comes up a location if it's available at our library. And here's the answer: did not match any resource in the library. So, do you give up and go away? Well, that's one option, but what I recommend instead is remember what I mentioned very early on in this video. Go back to the library homepage, scroll up, Interlibrary Loan. If that's an article that sounds really interesting to you and you want to read it, just go to the Interlibrary Loan page, fill out the request form, tell us what article it is and who you are, and we'll get it for you. And journal articles can often be gotten very quickly because we will find a college that has that journal. They download the article as a PDF file, email it to us, and we forward the email to you. So no shipping is involved, just email. And that means we can sometimes get articles to you as quickly as just 2 days or so. The interlibrary loan of books and videos takes more like a week. But the the interlibrary loan of journal articles can be very quick. The other thing that you'll find in here is that once you bring an article up on your screen, like this first one, if I click here to bring up the full summary and full description of it, on the right side of the screen, you'll see another tool that offers you citations. If I click there, it now is offering me the citation in whole lots of different formats. The ones you would need at RCC would be APA for nursing and psychology. Many of the science classes at RCC use APA style manual as well. If you're in English classes, they use MLA handbook style, and you would copy that. So remember that when you need to cite your sources, the citation tools are built into the library databases. Last of all, what I want to show you in the online library is this cool tool. Down at the bottom of our database list is other popular databases, Canopy, streaming films. For some people, I think this is the coolest thing that the library has, so I wanted to be sure to show it to you. You may even be using this for classwork, but more likely you'll be using it just because it's got really cool movies in it. Both things that you may have seen in theaters. It's got Emmy award-winning films, and it's got lots of documentaries and things from HBO are in here and PBS, and a lot of classic films, things from the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and so on, and a lot of international films. So the table of contents page that I'm scrolling through here is sort of like a big advertisement landing page. Here's the newly added movies, in this line right here, and this page changes every week or so. They put new stuff up here. But if you know of a title you're looking for or a certain topic, you can click up here in the top, and let's say if you're interested in nursing videos, click nursing, and here it will find, in this case, hundreds of videos. With each one, again, these are ranked by what's called relevance ranking, same as our Primo system does. So things that have nursing in the title tend to be first in these searches. But each of these are videos that you can watch free online. And the beautiful thing about Canopy is that everybody can watch the same video at the same time. It's not like a one person at a time gets to look at it. Unlike other library physical books and DVDs, one person checks it out and then no one else can use it. Well, in this case, it's streaming online, everyone who wants it. So if I were a professor and said I want all my students to watch this guide for prospective nursing students, I could say, I want you all to look at this, and they can then provide the link to it in the Canvas, and then all the students could watch this as a homework assignment. If you want to, inside Canopy, you can also create your own personal account. That's free, and that lets you to create watch lists. And see where it says My List? You have to sign in and add this to your watch list. That's if you choose to sign up. You don't have to do that in order to watch Canopy, but if you want to save your favorite movies, and there's a lot of good stuff in here, you might want to choose to sign up so you can create a watch list for yourself. All right, the other thing I was going to talk about today in my SDV class to you is what's called the ABC method, and for that I'm going to jump over here to one of my other handouts. Whoops, where is it? There it is. This is called Not Quite Everything You Need to Know About the RCC Libraries, and this covers things like truncation, which we talked about just a few minutes ago, and several other tips about the library you may find useful. But, oops, that needs to be moved down a little bit. There we go. The second page of this is evaluating internet websites with the ABC method. As a librarian, I really enjoy evaluating sources to decide, is this something I can trust or not? Most people don't enjoy this, I realize, and so this is why I think the ABC method is a good idea. This is a method that everybody can use and takes usually less than 1 minute to finish. So my suggestion is that use the ABC method and figure out these 3 things about any web page before you decide to use it as a source. Here's the 3 things. A is the author and their authority. Who wrote the page? And if you can figure it out quickly, why should you trust them? If you can't figure that out from looking at the web page, there may be a problem with it, because something that has authority or is authoritative usually will tell you what their background is or why you should trust their information. Again, it can be a person or an organization, but again, look for those things. Second of all, bias. Now, you probably hear about political bias, and when I say that word, you probably think of political bias like Republican versus Democrat or conservative versus liberal. The kind of bias I'm talking about here is the purpose. Why is the web page there that you're taking information from? The most common reason for a web page to exist on the internet is to sell you something. It's either to sell you a product or a service, or sometimes to sell you on an idea, which may later lead you to contribute money to a cause or something like that. But the whole idea is, look at the purpose. If the purpose is to sell you something, that may be a reason to be cautious about it. Now, so for example, this is a question that I think is interesting. I'm going to go back here to the RCC website, and after you think about this for a minute, what's the bias of this website? I'm looking at the RCC homepage. The bias is that again, what's the purpose of it? Well, there's several purposes. First of all, it's to give you information about the college, but this page is actually created by the marketing department at RCC, and that doesn't mean it's evil or bad, but it means the job of this page is to sell you on RCC, that this is a good place to go to college, that we have good classes here, that you could get good value for your money, and so on. So this purpose of this page is to tell you good things about RCC. That's why it exists. So would you come here to find out information that might be critical of RCC? You actually can find it if you know where to dig on this page, but rather than go there, just think about the purpose. If I wanted to find an evaluation of RCC, I would probably want to find it from some other source, not simply, yeah, we do great classes here. And again, I don't mean to suggest that the RCC website tells lies or is misleading in any way, but you do have to think about bias. In other words, why does the page exist? Who's creating this information, and what is their purpose? Okay, I'm going to go back to my handout. The last thing is currency. And I don't mean currency like dollar bills. I mean, is the information current, and thus is it accurate? The best website on your topic written in 2005 might be totally incorrect in 2018, or I'm going to update that. I haven't wrote note. I see that should be say 2020 or in 2020. So is it current? And here's a good example. Whenever anyone says, "Can you show me a bad web page?" the first thing I think of is health topics. I always have trouble spelling that one. There we go. Low testosterone. You know, this is the thing they have ads for on all the sports broadcasts. So here's low testosterone, and Google's trying to help you out here by giving you a little definition of it, and even giving you the medical name for it, which is actually good, because the medical name typically does not lead you to false information, at least not as likely. So anyway, what they're doing here is giving you a little blurb from a source that is quite good, the clevelandclinic.org. However, don't count on Google to always put a good source up here. I've seen them cite sources like WebMD, which is a really poor source for medical information. But anyway, look at see who is it from. Down here a little bit further, here's healthline.com. Now this information could be accurate, but in fact healthline.com, if you go to their website, let's see what happens. So if we scroll down here, I'm going to accept their privacy terms, which means I'm going to accept cookies. And you'll notice right away, well, it's not even letting me do that, is that one of the first things you see is on the right side is advertisements. And now advertisements doesn't guarantee the information is bad, but it basically explains the purpose of this website. Look at this ad. This is getting testosterone support. Here's getting shoes, I guess. The purpose of this website is to make money. And again, that's not an evil thing, but it may make their information one-sided or less accurate. So again, for example, if this page is leading me to products about low testosterone, do you think they're going to tell me that product is good or bad? Or they might tell me it's good, but will they tell me it's bad? I would not trust this website, to be honest with you. What I tend to look for a quick way of finding what's reliable is two different kinds of sites. By the way, WebMD is notoriously bad. It's actually created by the Eli Lilly drug company, and almost every article in there will tell you to talk to your doctor about this pill. In other words, they use it to basically sell you drugs. And I don't mean, heroin or something like that, but it's a pharmacy company. And the WebMD website is there to promote their drugs. And as a result, there's a lot of people who say this is a site that should never be used for medical information. I recommend you use names that are well known, like Mayo Clinic is a very good website. It's well known, the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. They're not interested in selling you anything. They're there in order to share information. Now, they do have patients at the Mayo Clinic, but frankly, they got more patients than they want. They don't put this out here in order for you to want to fly to Minnesota and use their stuff. Here's another one, harvard.edu. Again, a medical school typically is going to be a good website. And then if I go to the next screen here, the other typically highest quality site that you'll find, I'm skipping over a bunch of them here, are the .gov websites. The National Library of Medicine owns Medline Plus. They also own National Institute of Health, which is NIH.gov, or the CDC.gov, Center for Disease Control, or FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. These are sites that typically are trustworthy. So that's the ABC method. Again, I used a health example, but let me go back to my handout here. Think about these three things whenever you're deciding, is this a web page I can trust in doing my research? Again, I use this in my work. I'm using this, of course I have this down, I use it every day. So I do it very quickly, almost unconsciously. I'm looking to say, who wrote this? And I'm looking to see, why did they write it? And third of all, is this current enough to trust? And typically, a good web page will tell you all three of these things pretty easily. Last of all, I want to mention, there are sites out there that help you verify whether things are true or not. Snopes is the most famous, perhaps, Snopes.com. People go to Snopes in order to research rumors and hoaxes, and Snopes will actually try to find authoritative sources, such as universities or research centers, that will have answers to whether certain things are considered true or false. Factcheck.org does the same thing, also PolitiFact. The second and third ones tend to focus mostly on political assertions or statements and whether they're true or not, but all three of these are worth knowing about. I recommend you visit them. Snopes, you may even find that entertaining to read about some of the rumors that they've had to research. So anyway, that is the end of my presentation. I'm going to jump back here. This is how you reach the library if you need help. We're eager to help. Again, you saw our library hours. Just check the website. You'll see what our hours are in case those change. But at Glenn's campus and Warsaw campus, we're eager to help you over the phone, or email us at library@rappahannock.edu. Thanks for your attention. I hope you think this was a worthwhile use of your time.